Consider the city of Sao Paulo. In the 1970s, with a population of 7.6 million, Sao Paulo was building fast and building big. A 3.5 kilometer long elevated highway was constructed through the central avenue of the city. The then mayor called it a new solution of road systems that will provide fast transit. Does that sound familiar? In Bengaluru, the proposed elevated corridor will be a 4 or 6 lane elevated road that cuts through the heart of the city. It consists of 1 north to south corridor, 2 east-west corridors, and 3 connecting corridors. Divided into 4 phases, the ambitious elevated network spans almost 102 kilometers across the city. One of the main reasons cited for the need of the elevated corridor is the lack of road infrastructure for the city's rising population. It has also been claimed that the corridor will boost the use of public transport. So let's take a closer look at what has been proposed by looking at the only document that provides the details of the proposed design, the tender document. This is a drawing for the Mekri Circle interchange. The proposed design seems to have 5 different levels of roads overlapping each other. In other words, Mekri Circle might look like this. The drawing of cross sections reduces the sizes of vehicles and peoples wherever necessary. When in fact, with the right proportions, it is clear that the design has been made in the service of cars. In some cases, the elevated corridor has been detailed to go over narrow residential roads such as BTS Main Road. The design proposed here seems to cut through the buildings, which means the road could be flying right over the buildings or flattening them out completely. The design of the corridor seems to clearly miss out on the most important aspect of any large public infrastructure project for the city: its people. Many people will find their land impacted by this project. First phase alone will result in the demolition of 200 residential buildings. The tender also lists the names and number of trees to be chopped down due to the first phase of this project. Primary casualties include large canopied rain trees that provide shade and are essential for street vendors that park themselves under these trees. There is also no mention of how autos will be able to use these elevated roads. Non-motorized transport such as cycling and walking have decreased importance in the overall design. Let's go back to Sao Paulo for a minute. The elevated highway has been called many names, the most common being Minhocao or Big Worm. Within 6 years of its inauguration, the city quickly realized that the highway was a bad idea. It raised the levels of air pollution and noise pollution, which decreased the property value around the highway. It also resulted in views like this. More importantly, it did not solve the traffic crisis. Since then, Sao Paulo has been trying to fix this scar by proposing the transformation of the highway into a park. In fact, many cities across the world have built elevated corridors and realized that it was a mistake. Some try to transform them, while others pull them down. The consensus: elevated corridors do not work. So why is our city taking 2 steps back instead of 1 step forward?